Hello everyone, Liquid Sheth here. We're going to start off another game. This is the next in the Playhem tournament series that I've just recently been trying to upload a few games of. This is myself versus Creator.Prime, a very good Protoss from Korea. Maps Tal'darim altar. He's the left position. I'm the right position. These are pretty interesting positions for sure to play, and I'll talk about that a little bit more as we go into this game. So, a few things to note is that close positions like this are technically really good for Protoss. Far positions, for instance, the Protoss is top left and the Zerg is bottom right, really good for Zerg, or at least much better compared to the other situations we can have. A few things about Creator.Prime, for those of you who don't know him, is a really good Korean player who's been around and putting up really good consistent results for a long time. He's been in Code A for quite a long time. He's been in Code A at least for the last 2 GSL seasons, as well as he used to be in Code A in May and July last year. So in this game, he's scouting up here first. It's really nice when Protoss decides to scout wrong. It's kind of a luck-based aspect, but really nice because if I'd went something like a 10 pool or a 7 pool, I'd be in a pretty good situation against this. And because he hasn't scouted me first with this probe, he doesn't know if he can build a Nexus first, he has to build a Forge. In this case, it looks like he's going to build a Forge, which is really the safe way to go, and really the only way you can play, because on this map 10 pools are very common. And it's just an instant loss if he puts down his Nexus first against that sort of play. So he's even scouting quickly with this probe, just in case it's a 6 pool. You can see the Zerglings coming by right around here, and then he won't have time to save this, obviously, but he'll have enough time to put a pylon in his main, put a cannon here, and then that's just a good situation to build off of. You're not dead, you're alive with more probes, and it's a good situation. So that's why this double scout. In the meantime, I got to kind of hide a drone up here. You can do that especially if they haven't scouted earlier, and then you just run it around whenever you exactly get 300 minerals and put down your hatchery. That way this probe hopefully won't be able to stop it with the pylon. Now in this case, notice this drone is kind of chasing around this probe. Something I kind of do. Most other Zergs really like putting an Overlord on top of this hatchery, and that way they can see if any pylon or cannon shenanigans start to happen. But I kind of like just using this drone and having this Overlord already quickly go to this side. Notice I haven't at all scouted with the drone, I'm only using these Overlords. Now it's actually really important that you Overlord scout up if you're in this position. Let me explain to you why. Usually Zergs want to take a third base quickly. On this map, this would be the optimal position, but it's blocked by rocks. I'm sure most of you guys know that, so you can't really take it here. But you could take it here or here. Now, the reason you send it up is because you need to check if they're here. If they are, you cannot take it here, and you have to take your third over here. Not too big of a deal, as long as you know that. However, if I'd say send my Overlord over to here, it's a bit risky. I probably can't take this hatchery because I don't know if he's right up here. Having a Protoss in this base, having a Zerg base here, doesn't work. Cannon Stalkers, anything up here just absolutely destroys it. Even like the ability to warp in Zealots. No way to expand here if he's here. And the same thing applies for other bases. Say if I'm right here, I need to scout down first because I really want to take this base, and I can't if he's here. So it's kind of some interesting things that people may not know about this map. And really, I just kind of learned for sure while watching this replay, so it's pretty cool to be able to cast and look for little things like that you don't think too much about in the meantime. Now, I am making a kind of big mistake not taking my hatchery here right now, but it's hindsight. I didn't think that I'd be able to. I figured there'd be a pylon block, and I just kind of wanted to be able to go clean that up now with this Zergling. I also wasn't sure if I wanted to do some sort of 2-base play. I got this gas pretty early. Wasn't sure about taking a third hatchery in my base. But seeing this probe, I figured I'd be sneaky, send this drone along the other edge, go take this base now that you scouted that it's not there. It's kind of a cool technique to do, is just be where your opponent doesn't expect you to be. So if he thinks there's no hatchery there, take a hatchery there. In the meantime, Protoss is getting +1, getting a Stalker out. I like him having the Zealot here on the tower. It's a pretty safe position. If Zerglings come, you put the Zealot right there in that little bitty corner, and then it's hard for me to kill it. It's a cost-effective Zealot. And especially because he did see earlier that I didn't go gas first. He knows I probably don't have speed really early, thus being able to send out this Stalker to harass. I like it. It's a good idea. Those of you who can, you should definitely try it out. Also, having this Overlord right here on this little cliff, or even this little cliff right here, if you notice all bases on Tal'darim have them, little bitty cliffs. they're actually really awesome. It lets you get a whole bunch of scouting information. If you look at my point of view, we're just now figuring out, okay, well, looks like 4 gates. So 4 gate +1 timing is kind of the idea that we're getting here. And that's why, yep, there's Roach Horn, I assume. There we go, it's almost done. We are getting actually speed and +1 because we see his gateway timing and we know they're not quite done yet, so we can be a little bit safe. It's not completely rushed for an all-in out of +1. He also takes his gas here, and seeing that, it's pretty cool too. So then we know, okay, it's not a completely all-in +1/+1 4 gate. And we just have this Overlord still here chilling to see the Stalker and to see what's going on. In the meantime, we can kind of try and poke this tower just to see what's going on. Still trying to keep it with the Zealot and Stalker. It's a little bit risky to keep it this long. Probably wouldn't mind leaving one Zealot in the little bitty corner and the rest going home. Losing a Stalker can be a big deal. And in the meantime here, my speed is almost done with this lair. So we're just going for kind of a 3-base macro now, is basically the point. And he, despite getting like the ability to get +1 Zealot, didn't go it, and is just going to try and, at this point, it's obvious to us observing, 2 Stargate, going to go for probably Phoenix, maybe Void Ray, but in this case, definitely Phoenix. So something you can do now, from a Zerg point of view, once this lair finishes, we can make an Overseer and go Scout. We're also throwing down a Spore Crawler because I felt like this wasn't good. Like this wasn't obviously. He's using this gas somewhere. I don't know where. It can be either DTs, it can be Stargate, but it's clearly being used somewhere, right? So at this point, we're checking that out. We're using these Zerglings just to look around here, and we're making this Overseer now to scout probably in this direction. So, also interestingly enough, you cannot plop down a Changeling on this little tower. I tried to do it, popped down right there. So today I learned, right? So now we run in, we see these 2 Stargates pumping out Phoenix. We kind of figure out, okay, from this point now, we gotta hurry up, make some Spore Crawlers. Make one here. Actually, don't make any in the main. And I think my idea here is, well, we see it coming. We're pretty close positions. I think if I can make a Hydra Roach army and try and deny this third whenever he tries to make it, I'll be in pretty good situation. So that was my idea behind quickly getting Roach speed and Hydra, and I even think I'm a little bit too greedy. I think I have a little bit more gas than I do, and I try and get like maybe 1 or 2 Infestors with it. I think you can do is try and send in either another Overseer or even an Overlord if you have it just lying around, just to make sure and see how many Phoenix they're getting. In this case, it seems kind of obvious that it looks like 6, but you never know if they're hiding another 6 back at home. It's rare, but players like Kiwikaki will do that sort of thing. So here, we actually kind of made a mistake. Now, if this queen had ran away, instead of being aggressive and attacking, I feel like he would have ran in, killed my queen, done a lot more damage than he did. Sometimes bluffing confidence can be really good, even if you're not at all confident. So he does manage to get some drones. If they have this situation here, you want to pull your drones, get out of the way as much as you can, and stall for these Spore Crawlers. In the meantime, we have these little Zerglings here. It's always good to be kind of poking around, because the Protoss army doesn't want to be too out in the open. It's kind of lucky that we managed to get this Nexus, but you always want to look for those little poke-ins where you can get that little advantage. In the meantime here, we are losing some drones here, but I think we pick off 1 Phoenix, yep, so it's about an even trade. And if you look at the unit count, it's 59 drones to 58 probes. That's okay, especially because we have a lot of Hydras now, 9 Hydras. We don't have Hydra range, which is kind of a mistake on my part, especially if I make this many Hydras. I should get range with this. And I even could have left them here to help defend from these Phoenix. I also would have liked to have made maybe another 15 to 20 drones. I don't think this attack is quite as perfect as it could be. It looks good to me, but, and again, remember the idea of this isn't to kill him. The idea of this pressure here, especially against this many Phoenix, should be to deny the third. That should be our goal. However here, I try and just get overconfident. We get stuck, we lose our Roaches. This is pretty bad. This is exactly what we don't want to happen, especially because he has Blink. If he'd went straight for Colossus, maybe this timing would have worked, because he would have been really, really waiting for those Colossus. But in this case, I just don't have enough Hydras, I don't have enough Roaches. The fact that he can bring in these Phoenix now, pick off all of my gas army. I call it a gas army because really this is all my gas. It's all gone. He gets to keep all of his in the form of these Phoenix and Stalkers. And even though he did lose a sentry or 2, it's definitely a huge advantage for him being able to keep that. And now back at home, my army is much smaller. Even though I'm ahead on supply, you really want to be a lot farther ahead than this. Especially in the worker count, you never really want to be equal to the Protoss, you always want to be ahead. I mean, not always, but in most situations. Meantime here, he has Immortals, he has this third base, he's just kind of macroing up. It's exactly what he wants to be doing. There's no point in making more Phoenix from this. And my goal here, after realizing that attack failed, I know I'm behind. I know it's trouble. We're scouting here. I kind of hoped I'd get a few little probe kills for free. Didn't get it. But you gotta try little things like that. And in the meantime, I think my idea is, okay, let's go for really quick Broodlords. Let's get a few Hydras, a few Roaches, just to give him the appearance that we're still going Hydra Roach. And maybe then he'll be scared. He'll think, okay, well, he's going Hydra Roach, he's still on tier 2, I have time to build up and get a better army, and then I can attack. There's no way he has Broodlords early, right? That was the idea behind making this sort of amount of Hydras and Roaches right here, to get him a little bit scared. And in the meantime, we're getting a Spire, getting a Hive, we're saving gas, basically, for this Broodlord army. It's kind of an okay way to do it, especially when, taking your 4th, is if we get to this army composition where I manage to keep all of this gas, and get, like maybe say 6 Broodlords, I'll be content to fight with that against this anytime. This really isn't that great of an army against Broodlords, especially with this many Immortals. 2 Immortals, 3 Immortals. If you want Colossus, it's a little bit different, but especially with this amount of Mortals, I'm fine doing this, right? Especially with this composition. A big deal, though, is we want to be able to kill this Observer, so I would definitely suggest, if you are doing something tricky, you're not just playing really completely straightforward, and even if you are playing completely straightforward, why not keep an Overseer by your army? Or even if you play against a Stargate, move the Spore Crawler right to where your army is. If nothing else, it just kind of keeps them a little bit on their toes with their Observer. And hopefully they can't watch your army build completely. But he's smart, he knows to leave his army or his Observer right there, he sees exactly what I'm doing. And I like being active with these Phoenix. Lets him scout, see what's going on. In the meantime, you always want to keep a burrowed unit at 4th base. Sometimes an Overlord spewing creep here too, but these Phoenix I figured would pick it off. And now, with these Phoenixes, oh okay, he's not just making this Roach Hydra Infestor army, he's making Broodlords. That's why this move is coming out, and I didn't expect him to see it, so if you look at the production tab, sorry I didn't have that up more, he's making Corruptor, or I'm making Corruptor, 7 of them, and he's just attacking here. Just blinks into me, I wasn't ready for it, sorry I missed the beginning of that engagement, but blinks in, has these Immortals in the back, and really, well, I try to stall with this and kind of pretend that confidence. Maybe he'll go back, maybe he's afraid that I have all this. He has no Colossus. If I'd went pure Hydra Roach with Infestor, I would definitely have been able to beat this, but the fact that I went really quick for Broodlords with these Corruptors, that's an okay situation for him to just keep going. These Immortals are really, really strong, especially with all this Stalker backup. And it's good, because he's hitting before my Broodlords can even be made, plus the fact that he just warps in more units, more and more units coming. This is just a great situation for him, and a very good timing. Notice also he has a DT. I haven't really talked too much about that. It's kind of an interesting decision, to be honest. I don't know if I would have done it personally. Maybe went into Colossus, or even a second robotics facility. But this way he can get Archons. And if, say, I'd went something like Ultras with Infestor Ling, that sounds like a crazy composition. It could work if I managed to neural the Immortals, but I mean, that really wouldn't happen. That's just a pretty crazy idea where Archons would be a good situation or ability to have. Maybe he just wants to use their Cloaked, and if this attack hadn't worked, it would be because I have hatcheries and expansions all over the map, and he could just send a DT here, a DT here, and probably kill them off. So, at this point I could probably leave, and I'm kind of probably being rude not to, but in tournament play you really just want to stick it out, and the fact that I have these Broodlords, they kind of morph down in this little corner away from everything, and the fact that he doesn't have a 4th, I hope beyond hope, just that small chance, maybe he'll command this army into my Broodlords. That won't really happen with someone a really good player, but in tournaments you just have to hope that 1 in 100 chance you have to stay in, just kind of keep fighting. Especially because, this Broodlord Infestor army can be really, really strong if I can max with this composition. The problem is getting to this composition. He blinks in, manages to pick off my Broodlords. This is just what he needed to do. Very good play. Strong play here by Creator. And this has been game 1 in a best of 3. This is still the Playhem tournament, and I'll try and bring and upload the second game as quickly as I can. Hopefully you guys have enjoyed this, and seeing how a Protoss can play with Immortal Phoenix. and kind of learning a little bit about how to scout on this map, and just basic ideas in PvP. So thanks a lot for watching, guys. Take care.